Su Mu brings the player panel. I arrived in the gaming world 10,000 years ahead of schedule. Drawn the most common talent for players. Immortality. However, although immortalized, the level experience is locked and cannot be upgraded to become stronger. What should we do? Only practice and practice, in practice. There is no time in the cave, 1,000 years in a blink of an eye. On the way out, he discovered the girl I casually saved back then actually started a tribe for me. Have you become a tribal totem yourself? 5,000 years later, the first batch of beta testers arrived. They looked at the totem statue standing in the first tribe and looked at each other. This is the system introduction, a very easy to kill level 1 boss. Keywords of the novel. Log into the wilderness world 10,000 years in advance without pop-ups. Log into the wilderness world 10,000 years in advance to download the complete TXT collection. Log into the latest chapters of the wilderness world 10,000 years in advance to read. Chapter 1001. Green Snake Tribe Butcher. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1001. Green Snake Tribe Butcher. The game world of Shenlin. Green Snake Tribe, Winter. Mu, wake up quickly, the warriors are back. Warriors. Su Mu rubbed his eyes and thought to himself, did he sleep lying next to the computer? Isn't warrior a nickname in games? Open your eyes and take a look. Uncertain, take another look. There is a string of skull ornaments hanging around the neck and a beastly leather jacket worn on the lower body. What kind of ancient outfit is this? Mu. Let's go quickly. It's too late, the brave adults are going to get angry. After the person finished speaking, they shrank their necks, as if the anger of the warrior was terrifying. Seeing that Su Mu had already woken up, he picked up a bone knife on the ground and quickly left the room. After the person left, Su Mu suddenly stood up. Combining memories in one's own mind, after 3 breaths he had a bitter face and looked around incredulously. The dimly lit room was filled with a damp sensation, and the smell of urine mixed in, making him doubt whether his roommate was in a mess in the room. Eat, drink, and hold on, okay. I've actually traveled through time. Or is it time to travel into the game of God's Landing? The environment of the room, the attire of the person just now, and the bone knife around them. He was certain that he had traveled to the first era of the game of God's Landing. Thinking of this, his face became even more bitter. Before Su Muchuan, Shenlin had already developed into the 7th era. The first era was tribal hegemony, and in this era, the lives of NPCs were quite rudimentary. Eating raw meat, drinking blood and water, using animal skins as clothing, and using skeletons as decorations. It was not until around 5,000 years of the First Age that fire became widely popularized in Shenlin. According to the game plot, each era has a total of 10,000 years. And the players first arrived at the end of the First Age. Not right. Around 5,000 years ago, a group of beta testers arrived, and Su Mu was once a member of the beta. He's not sure if he's a player now or a native in the game. I am even more uncertain about the time I came here, which year of the First Age. In my mind, a light curtain appeared. Su Mu. Level 1, Lock, Stamina. 2, Spirit. 2, Talent. Immortality. Identity. In the year 0001 of the Shenlin calendar, he was a cook in the Green Snake tribe. Shenlin calendar year 0001. The beginning of the first era. Immortal, isn't this my gaming talent? Immortality means that Su Mu has an infinite lifespan and will not die due to his lifespan. But enemy attacks, natural disasters, or starvation, freezing to death, can all be fatal. He suspected that his physical condition was not as good as that of the children in the tribe, despite having 2 different attributes. Tribal servants are held by slaves who have been arrested, or by weaker members of the tribe. Their main responsibility is to dismember the fierce beasts hunted by tribal warriors and exchange labor for survival rations. Not good, the tribal warriors are back. Su-mu suddenly remembered his identity, accompanied by memories of being a cook. He is different from those slave laborers. He is from the Green Snake tribe and goes late, although he will not be killed like a slave. But a meal of flesh and skin pain is still inevitable. In an instant, he understood that once he came, he would settle for it. I have already gained an infinite lifespan, and the next thing I need to do is find a way to survive in this world of cannibalism. After all, his level was locked, which blocked his idea of following the warrior team and upgrading his experience. Pick up the bone knife next to you, wrap it around the animal skin skirt, and run towards the tribal square according to memory. In the center of the square, the little ones, holding shiny bone knives, inserted them into the necks of the fierce beasts hunted back by the tribal warriors, imitating their hunting movements. A popping sound sounded, and the little ones in the tribe became even more excited. The brave warriors beside them also generously praised themselves, "Well done." The high priest of the Green Snake tribe, leaning on a cane, looked devoutly at their tribal totem, a four-cornered green snake. He is thanking the great totem lord for blessing the brave warriors of their tribe to return safely. And also brought back enough beast meat. The woman was wearing a half-body animal skin garment, singing praises around the returning warriors. In the tribe, only powerful warriors are qualified to pass on the family line. After they return, they will choose a tribe woman they like and carry her back to their wooden house to carry on the important task of inheritance. When Su-mu arrived, his roommate was already busy. While the priest was still praying, Su-mu walked over to a fierce beast that was comparable to an elephant. Pushi, the bone knife in my hand was pounded. Obtain mammoth meat X1. Did I bring the player's corpse touching skills over as well? In the backpack of the system, a piece of blood-red mammoth meat quietly lay there. The system reminds him that this meat weighs 10 kilograms and is the essence of mammoths. At this moment, he thought a lot. Finally, his gaze turned to the three deceased tribal warriors. These three warriors, with incomplete bodies and a terrifying appearance, just one glance made Su-mu's scalp tingle. Gudong swallowing a mouthful of saliva, Su-mu continued his hand movements. According to tribal traditions, warriors will be placed in front of totem masters after death and pray for 7 days. It symbolizes being able to accompany the totem lord after death. Su-mu sneered at this. No wonder in the game introduction, during the First Age, the average lifespan of the human race was only 30 years old. If this habit can survive for a long time, it's strange. The body was left for 7 days and was killed by wild beasts. If it died in the plague, there wouldn't be a single person left in the entire tribe. In the tribal square, there were a total of 5 mammoths, along with Su-mu and a total of 10 cooks. They were busy until the next night, when they were all decomposed. Among the last 10 people, Su-mu received a piece of approximately 2 kilograms of mammoth meat from the tribe, while the remaining 9 people received approximately 1 kilogram. In addition to the tribal points, Su-mu also found 5 pieces of mammoth essence meat when he touched the corpse. Returning to the dimly lit cottage, he and his roommates used an excuse to say that he was in a hurry, and then ran towards the tribal totem. So urgent. Why not solve it here? Su-mu's roommate was confused and touched the mammoth meat in his arms before entering the room with a joyful expression on his face. I didn't care about the smell in the cabin and started chewing heavily. Green Snake Tribe Square, directly in front of the totem. 3 broken bodies, covered in a piece of animal skin stained with mammoth blood, lay quietly here. Sorry. Su-mu arched his waist, suppressed his discomfort, reached out his hand, and touched the outermost warrior. When he touched the mammoth meat, it reminded him of an event in the game of God's Landing. The game features are developed based on the level of exposure you have encountered. If he never touches the body, then Su-mu will never activate the system backpack function. Su-mu squinted his eyes and touched the right leg of the tribe warrior, who was still relatively intact in his body. Touching it cold, obtaining technique. Strength 1. The fusion function of martial arts is enabled. New book seeking support, Momota, end of this chapter. Chapter 2002. Pao Ding runs away. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Chapter 2002. Pao Ding runs away. Su Muchong breathed a sigh of relief. You bet right. Sorry. Step over the warrior who has already touched the corpse and continue to touch the tribal warrior in the middle, obtaining technique. Strength, 2, continue to touch the last warrior, obtaining technique. Strength, 3, Force, 1, Force, 2, and Force, 3, can be merged into. Force, lower grade. Su Mu first ran to the dark place of the tribe through the darkness of the night. Without hesitation, click on the fusion of techniques. Fusion. Obtained mana, lower level. Stamina +1. Tip. After 10 years of cultivation, upgrade to medium grade, cultivate for 100 years and elevate to a higher level, cultivate for 500 years and elevate to a top grade, cultivate for 1,000 years and elevate to a divine quality. At the moment when the technique appeared, Su Mu finally smiled. Just like the games in his past life. However, in the past life, cultivation time could be replaced by other methods, and now we can only rely on our own year after year of cultivation. For him, who possesses the talent of immortality, problems that can be solved with time are not considered problems. The cultivation method was added to himself by him, and a cultivation of power appeared in his mind. At the same time, a stream of heat swept through his body, and his physique successfully increased slightly. At this moment, Su Mu had his own thoughts on future safety issues. Since it is impossible to upgrade, then cultivate strong enough techniques. With the improvement brought by the techniques, even if it is level 1, there is no fear of anyone. You can also live a very carefree life in this unfamiliar world. At present, there is still a lack of preparation, food, and techniques to focus on studying cultivation. It's still too little. After some thought, Su Mu decided to stay in the Green Snake tribe 10 years later. The beast meat in the backpack has been stored in sufficient quantity to eat for 50 years. Over the past decade, the Green Snake tribe has engaged in endless battles over resources with neighboring tribes. The number of warriors within the tribe has sharply decreased, and Su Mu will appear in front of the totem on every night when a warrior dies in battle. Touch your hands towards every cold corpse. Over the past decade, there have been 9 inferior techniques accumulated, with only the last one missing, which can be integrated into a brand new one. In this way, his starting foundation will be more solid. Tonight, Su Mu appeared in front of the Green Snake totem on time again. It's just that his attire tonight is a bit different, carrying a beast skin bag and holding a bone knife in his hand. Tonight, there are 5 warriors from the Green Snake tribe and 6 corpses from enemy tribes placed here together. The enemy's body is placed here to send slaves to the totem lord as for how to distinguish between totems, which belongs to one's own tribe and which belongs to another tribe. Su Mu didn't know, but he asked his roommate once, which scared him so much that he almost went to report to the priest. After 10 years of touching the body, Su Mu had become accustomed to it and reached out to touch the cold corpse. Not only did they not panic, but they also flipped through their animal skin pockets to see if there was anything left behind. Obtaining skill. Speed, 1, prompt. The backpack has a total speed of 1x24. He cursed inwardly and crossed over the body, touching the other person. Obtaining technique. Strengthening body, 3, finally appeared. Over the course of 10 years, Su Mu has basically touched the martial arts of the Green Snake tribe and the neighboring tribe. Tonight, I finally saw the unfamiliar martial arts once again. Through observation, Su Mu discovered that the guy with the new cultivation technique had a blurry totem on his neck. After some mental calculation, I found 3 more guys with totem tattoos on their necks. Obtaining technique. Strengthening body, 1, obtaining technique. Strong body, 3, prompt. The backpack already has strong body, 3x1. Obtaining technique. Strengthening body, 2, strong body, 1, strong body, 2, strong body, 3, can be merged into strong body, lower level, without hesitation. Sumu chose to merge directly. Obtaining technique. Strengthen body, lower level, stamina +1. Cultivate for 1,000 years and upgrade to a divine item. This is not over yet. Sumu continued to drag out the other 9 martial arts he had acquired and integrate them with strengthening his body. Obtaining techniques. Breathing technique, lower level S+, stamina +10, spirit +10. Tip. After 10 years of cultivation, upgrade to medium grade, cultivate for 100 years and elevate to a higher level, cultivate for 500 years and elevate to a top grade, cultivate for 1,000 years and elevate to a divine quality. Cool memories flooded into his mind, and Sumu learned about the operation of breathing techniques. At the same time, warm currents flooded in, greatly improving Sumu's physical fitness. Add 10 points to each of the dual attributes. The inferior skill of S+ is already the pinnacle of inferior skills. Sumu. Level 1, Lock, Stamina. 20, Spirit. 16, Talent. Immortality. Practice. Breathing technique, lower level S+, Identity. Unknown, Li, lower grade, was used by him for 10 years and promoted to medium grade. A total of 3 stamina points have been added, and even if the techniques have been merged, the stamina will not disappear. There are still 5 stamina points brought by the other 5 lower-level techniques, and the remaining 4 techniques bring 4 spiritual points. This is an attribute that can be obtained without cultivation. When Sumu was a player, there was a limit, he could only cultivate 5 parts at once. Now that I have become a member of the tribe, there are no restrictions. However, from now on, the Green Snake tribe will have no further involvement with him. Just a year ago, the game forum opened for him. He climbed onto the forum and saw that the Green Snake tribe would be eliminated by other tribes in the next few days. 1 year later. For 10 years, he has been a cook in the tribe. Without a system, he would have died long ago due to a lack of food. After all, tribal warriors cannot capture the meat of fierce beasts every day. If not captured, he, as a cook, will have no source of food. In the past decade, when there was no food, he would secretly go hunting on his own, and when he returned, he would share a portion with his roommates through various coincidences. This led to his roommates and him changing jobs one after another in the kitchen, but only the 2 of them remained alive. Another reason is that the hero of the Green Snake tribe died tragically. He has been informed that the weakest servant of his tribe will be filled into the tribe's warrior team tomorrow. This has already endangered Sumu's life safety, which has made him continue to stay in the Green Snake tribe, and his idea of storing supplies disappear. How could one sacrifice their life to fight for an emotionless Green Snake tribe, as they live forever and have an infinite lifespan? So, that's when he packed up all his belongings and prepared to run away. Even if he didn't touch the last unfamiliar martial arts technique tonight, Sumu wouldn't stay here. Continuing to stay here is too risky, only by running can we get on the road. He straightened the animal skin bag in his arms and finally glanced at the Green Snake tribe. Sumu's figure was like an agile monkey, jumping a few times and disappearing into the Green Snake tribe. The next day, Sumu's roommate of 10 years woke up and suddenly found that Sumu was missing. You know, they are going to participate in the warrior training of the tribe today. 2 hours later, the tribal warriors arrived. Sumu still hasn't appeared. I searched for it all day. In the end, the angry tribe worshipped and cursed Sumu, saying that he, as a cook, dared to secretly leave and become the enemy of the Green Snake tribe in the future. Encounter him, kill without mercy. In the barren mountains, Sumu walked for a month and finally found a foothold. End of this chapter. Chapter 3003. Is this fate? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3003. Is this fate? At the waist of a 20-meter-high waterfall, there is a hidden, water curtain hole. Behind the water flow. This place, Sumu, is very satisfied. It has water and is very secluded, surrounded by forests, and there is no shortage of wild animals. Along the way, he gained an understanding of his own strength. The massive mammoth could be beaten to death with just a few punches. Jump up in one step, grab the smooth stones in the waterfall with your hands, and climb towards the water curtain hole inside. With just a few simple climbs, you have arrived at the water curtain cave. This cave is not big, estimated to be around 100 square meters, and the interior is extremely dim, with a cool feeling rushing towards you. Finding a protruding flat ground, Sumu carefully opened his animal skin backpack. Take out 2 palm-sized flints inside. These 2 stones were found in his animal skin pocket while he was touching the corpse. The warriors of the tribe were unaware of the function of flint and thought it was 2 beautiful stone decorations. At the moment when Sumu obtained the flint, he was even happier than when he obtained the martial arts. Firestone does not appear when touching corpses and cannot be stored in the system backpack, so Sumu has been carrying it closely. Click wipe 2 flints collided, and the falling sparks ignited the withered leaves he brought. Flames rose into the air, illuminating Sumu's face with a bright red. He quickly took out branches and strung a piece of essence meat of mammoth, and put it on the fire of leaves for barbecue. The leaves brought by Sumu are very wonderful. After being ignited, they can burn for at least 2 hours. This is a product of this peculiar world. Half an hour later, mammoth meat was roasted, and the aroma of the meat drifted through the dimly lit cave. Sumu couldn't wait to take a bite before chewing much. I had already raised my neck and swallowed it into my stomach. 10 years. 10 whole years. Finally tasted the taste of cooked meat. The Green Snake Tribe. On the 3rd day after Sumu left, he could no longer hold on and was destroyed by the Xiong tribe. The tribal warriors were beheaded, women were captured by the Xiong tribe and used as slaves, and children were thrown into the wilderness, allowing them to live and die on their own. The green snake totem was also shattered by the warriors of the bear tribe, wielding bone weapons. From then on, the green snake tribe disappeared in the year 00011 of the Shenlin calendar. In the Shenlin Forum, an inconspicuous branch plot introduction appeared. The Cook Mu of the Qingxi tribe became the only survivor of the Qingxi tribe. Su Mu's name first appeared in the storyline introduction of Shenlin. Time flies by in a hurry. 50 years later. Su Mu jumped up from the water curtain cave and plunged into the pool below with a splash. After cleaning, the water gently kicked and arrived at the shore. 50 years passed in a blink of an eye, and he had come to this world for 60 years. He had the gift of immortality, and his face had always been like that of an 18-year-old. I have activated my wrist and started practicing breathing techniques today. After a moment, a huge warm current poured in breathing method, lower grade S+, has been upgraded to medium grade, breathing method, medium grade. Stamina +20, spirit +20, finally improved. He looked at the panel he had lifted. Su Mu. Level 1, lock, stamina. 40, spirit. 36, talent. Immortality. Practice. Breathing technique, intermediate, identity. Unknown, there is not much essence meat of beasts in the backpack. He also practiced alone for 50 years. This has reached the limit of his tolerance for loneliness. Continuing to cultivate, he is afraid that he will go crazy. I don't know, how is the Green Snake Tribe doing now? After some thought, he decided to go back to the Green Snake Tribe to take a look. This is also the Green Snake Tribe around, and he is quite familiar with it. At the same time, he is also trying to verify whether the words in the game forum are correct. He has discovered that his name appears on the forum and has become the only survivor of the Green Snake Tribe. This made him feel a sense of confusion. Sumu always thought he was a player. Now suddenly, as an NPC, I have appeared on the storyline of the game forum. Return to the water curtain cave, hold your precious flint in your arms, and leap out in one step, 10 meters away. I walked for a month when I arrived, but this time I only took 5 days to go back. The original site of the Green Snake Tribe. The Green Snake Tribe has disappeared, and now it is the Bear Tribe. I don't know what danger the Xiong tribe is facing. The tribe's facilities are in ruins and corpses are scattered everywhere. Occasionally, there were rumbling sounds, like the sound of a house collapsing. Arriving at the entrance of Xiongbu, Su Mu stopped in his tracks. He heard the sound of rustling footsteps, looked around, and was empty. Subconsciously, he wanted to avoid, as if it was too late. In no time, 3 sturdy guys holding children appeared from the Bear Tribe. One of the strong men, while walking, poked the Bear Tribe cub with a bone knife, making a hissing sound and the smile on his face. As if enjoying everything extremely. This behavior is extremely eye-catching at the entrance of the dilapidated Bear Tribe. Seeing this scene, Su Mu's gaze instantly became cold. He stayed in the Green Snake Tribe for 10 years, and he knows the rules of these tribes, which is not to kill the defeated tribe cubs. According to the tribe, children are the embodiment of totems, and killing them can cause totem aversion. However, if there is no killing, there are guys who specialize in hunting children for fun. These people, known as wanderers, roam in tribal wars, specifically hunting and killing those who embody totem cubs. Among the tribes, there is a common belief that when encountering wanderers, they must be killed. Haha, you're late. There are only these 3 little ones left here. We don't have enough left, we can't share them with you anymore. The leading wanderer, carrying a huge bone stick and with a threatening tone, shouted loudly at Su Mu. This statement made Su Mu more certain of their identities. Upon hearing the words of the leader's wanderer, this time he did not choose to continue. The figure flickered and arrived in front of the leading wanderer, Garbage. Bang! With one punch, it directly hit the heart of the leader wanderer and pierced through. What? The boss was easily killed by this guy. Run quickly. We can't beat it. The remaining 2 wanderers turned around and wanted to run, but unfortunately it was already too late. Su Mu's figure was like a ghost. Bang! Another punch blasted the head of a wanderer. This. So strong. The last wanderer, with just one glance, was so frightened that he was torn apart. At this moment, he felt a strong wind blowing and a leg appeared before his eyes. He wants to hide, it's too late. Bang! Head broken. In the blink of an eye, all 3 wanderers are destroyed. Obtaining technique. Earth Xing, 2, obtaining technique. Wood Walk, 1, obtaining technique. Huishing, 4, are you guys above level 10? Unexpectedly, the 5 elements technique has exploded. Cough! A faint voice emanated from a child's mouth. Su Mu approached her. There's still hope. Hurriedly operating the breathing method, gentle breaths were transmitted into Su Mu's body through her fingers. 7 days later, in the water curtain cave, the girl woke up. After waking up and spending a day of panic, the girl calmly accepted the fact that the tribe had been destroyed. The girl who accepted the current situation began to tell her own story. She told Su Mu that her mother's mother came from the Green Snake Tribe, which was destroyed by their Bear Tribe. The Green Snake Tribe. Su Mu let out a sunny smile. Is this fate? End of this chapter. Chapter 4004. Fire. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 4004. Fire. In the first era of God's Landing, the distinction between men and women has not yet been refined at this stage. More importantly, there is a distinction between clan members and slaves. Once the girl woke up and saw Su Mu, she replaced herself as a slave. Su Mu didn't say much about this. This is a concept engraved in his bones. If he were to talk to this little girl now about equality for all and the absence of slaves, this girl is highly likely to live in panic and think she has no value. Valuable people, in tribal beliefs, have only one path, which is to be abandoned by the tribe, driven out of the tribe, and live and die on their own. In the water curtain cave, with the addition of a girl, Sumu felt more relaxed. The girl prepares the daily meals and raw meat. And he can also focus on studying the official forum of Shenlin Games. 1 month later. The girl was pitch black all over, her muscles began to emerge, and her thick and powerful limbs began to take shape. In both eyes, a fierce beast-like gaze was restored. Only when seeing Sumu, will there be a respectful gaze towards the tribal worship. The girl's appearance differs greatly from Sumu's previous understanding of women. Outside the cave, in the lake. Sumu suddenly jumped out of the lake, holding a half-meter-long fish wriggling its body in his hand. Come on. With a greeting, the girl at the entrance of the cave pounced and jumped into the lake. Like an agile swimming fish, swimming towards the shore. On the shore, Sumu inserted a big fish into a wooden stick and found some hay on the ground. In the girl's puzzled gaze, she took out the 2 flints from her arms. In a month's time, Sumu confirmed that the girl would not betray him and that she had truly put herself into slavery. So he was ready to teach fire to the girl. The reason for passing Sumu's inspection is twofold. Eating cooked meat for 50 years, returning to the days of eating raw meat, this kind of day he doesn't even think about it for a day. In terms of bone age, are you 8 years old this year? The collision of flints ignites sparks, igniting the hay on the ground. The faint firelight shone on the frightened girl's face, causing her body to tremble with unease. At this moment, she did not turn around and run away, indicating that she had truly put herself into slavery. Upon hearing Sumu's question, the girl's stiff neck reluctantly nodded. 8 years old among the tribes, this is already the age of adulthood. At the age of 8, just following Sumu and eating raw meat for a month, he has grown to about 1.7 meters. A robust physique comparable to that of previous gym experts. Without careful observation, it is difficult to distinguish between male and female. Zizi the fish were skewered with wood by Sumu and baked on the fire. A sizzling sound sounded, and the fragrance of the fish began to emanate. The girl twitched her nose, her eyes full of confusion. She didn't understand why this fish, after being done by the priest, would have a special aroma. Before you give me our meals in the future, use this fire to grill them before giving them to me. Fire. Sir. Is this called fire? Sumu nodded. The girl's eyes sparkled as she carefully took a piece of grilled fish that Sumu handed over. Learning from Sumu's demeanor, he blew a few breaths and put the fish into his mouth. She didn't know how to describe the deliciousness. After swallowing cooked fish, recalling the raw meat she had eaten before was as disgusting as the excrement of livestock. Boom! A thunderous sound came from afar. The clear sky resounded with thunder, bringing the girl's thoughts back. When looking at Sumu, her attitude changed. This is definitely not a priest. Priests do not have this magical ability. This is a magical ability that only totem masters can possess. At this moment, a blurry sentence suddenly appeared on the official game forum. In the year 00060 of the Shenlin calendar, civilization emerged. In his past life, Sumu had never figured out a single thing. With all the 5 elements cultivation techniques, why didn't the people in the tribe know how to use fire? At that time, the official forum of the game explained that the 5 elements technique was bestowed by heaven, while fire belonged to human beings. Now that he has lived here for 60 years, Sumu feels a bit clear about the reason. The 5 elements technique is a common manifestation of the elements of heaven and earth. People from the first age have not yet had much contact with people from tribes who move blood, which means they are at level 10 or above. In addition to wanderers and tribal children, it is also difficult to reach level 10 or above in order to achieve a moderate level of improvement and be exposed to the 5 elements of the air. As an outstanding person, after being exposed to the 5 elements, one can become proficient in the element of fire and analyze more of its usage. At this stage, it is even less likely. People are delving more into how to enhance their strength and how to defeat stronger enemies and beasts. Even if there are people who are proficient in the 5 elements, they are still considering how to use them to enhance their combat power. As for grilling meat with fire elements, it will take about 5,000 years for this kind of thing to become popular on the continent of Shenlin. Since that day, the girl has had an additional task every day, which is to barbecue meat over fire. From the initial barbecue, which was difficult to swallow, to a year later, the barbecue temperature can be accurately controlled. Another year has passed. It has been 2 years since the girl arrived. Su Mu discovered a strange thing. Since teaching a girl how to use fire 2 years ago, her gaze towards her has become increasingly respectful. This kind of gaze reminded him of the people of the Green Snake tribe, who only had the same gaze when they were led by the tribal priests to worship the Green Snake totem. And the girl is still mysteriously carving something every day. Su Mu, who possesses a modern soul, did not inquire about what the girl was doing or pry into someone else's privacy, and could not arouse his interest. As usual, Su Mu logged into the official game forum to check if there were any useful plotlines for him. In the year 00062 of the Shenlin calendar, the 2 largest tribes in the southern region engaged in a life-and-death battle for resources. 1 year later, both major tribes perished, and thereafter, there were constant wars in the southern region. In order to obtain more resources, the medium and large tribes waved their butchers' knives at strangers. This also provides a name for the fire tribe to unify the southern regions in the future in the Water Curtain Cave. Su Mu suddenly woke up. The southern region is where he is currently located. He is not clear about the dispute between the 2 major tribes. He is very familiar with the fire tribe. 5,000 years later, the first batch of beta players arrived, and by that time, the fire tribe had already unified half of the Shenlin continent. It is undoubtedly a hegemonic identity. 10,000 years later, the players will officially arrive, and their only main storyline mission is to overthrow the hegemonic rule of the fire tribe. At this moment, Su Mu thought a lot. A strong sense of crisis emerged. The southern regions will be in chaos, and the fire tribe sweeping across the entire Shenlin continent is also about to emerge. His current strength is just an ant that can be easily crushed in front of such a behemoth. His desire for stable immortality, strength, and once again becoming an urgent matter. However, after 62 years of cultivation, he has learned that his cultivation talent is poor and he cannot upgrade. He has only one path to choose from. That is to continue collecting techniques and merging them into more powerful ones. According to memory, if he remembers correctly, the 5 elements technique is of medium quality and has been of great help to him now. After a little calculation in his heart, Su Mu had an idea. End of this chapter. Chapter 5005. Cremation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5005. Cremation. When I saw the announcement on the game forum that the 2 major tribes in the southern region were about to start war, Su Mu added another task every day, spending 3 hours to explore the surrounding environment. I persisted for a year. He met 3 groups of tribal people fleeing from the wilderness, and instead of choosing to take action, he hid on the side and silently watched these people leave. Later, a thin and weak child was saved from the mouth of a mammoth. At first, I thought it was another girl, but after a month of recovery, I realized it was a boy. The bone age is similar to the girl who was first saved. Both children do not have their own names. According to the rules of the tribe, after leaving the tribe and the tribe is destroyed, they do not have their own name until they join the next tribe. And Su Mu is not a tribe here, so although the 2 children have a shelter, their names are still blank. Shenlin calendar year 00063, autumn. Su Mu withdrew from the game forum with an excited expression on his face. After waiting for a full year, he finally waited for this day. In the year 00063 of the Shenlin calendar, the 2 major tribes in the southern region fought fiercely on the Silent Plain for 10 days and nights, and ultimately perished together. As a result, the powerful tribes that had ruled the southern regions for 60 years both disappeared according to the official forum. Sumu waited for a whole year. Get up and jump out of the water curtain hole. There are 2 stone houses built on the shore, which are the residence of the boy and girl. In the dimly lit house, flames were burning. After taking a glance, Sumu called out the girl. She was told that she needed to go on a long journey. After a brief tidying up, others left here. In the past year, the 3 groups of refugees I encountered all came from the same direction. In addition, the boy also said that he came from that direction, which made Sumu basically determine the place where the 2 tribes went to war. Heading north all the way. It took a week to walk out of the forest. On the way, Sumu encountered the bones of 4 groups of deceased people, only one of whom had successful corpse-touching skills. Based on the degree of decay of the corpse, he understood the time range for the success of the corpse-touching skill. As introduced in the game, within 1 month of killing enemies, but Sumu is a bit special, he can touch corpses for everyone whether or not to kill with one's own hands. After leaving the forest, follow the north and cross barren mountains one after another. Arrived at the quiet plain in the northern part of the southern region. Here is the largest lake in the southern region, as well as a river that runs through the entire Shinlin continent. The resources are abundant, and even the 5 elements in the air are more active than the places where Sumu stayed before. Compared to here, the water curtain cave he chose is a remote and impoverished place. However, at this moment, the quiet plain has changed. Corpse lay everywhere, and the blue water in the lake was dyed dark red by blood. Vultures hover in the air, making a piercing creak. Wearing animal skins and with a joyful expression on his face, Sumu walked into the quiet plain. The pungent stench filled his nose tip, obtaining technique. Earth Shing, 5, after touching a corpse nailed to a branch with a bone spear, Sumu put it down, dug a simple pit, and put the corpse inside. The warriors of the tribe will choose to return in front of the totem after death. Unfortunately, the struggle between the 2 major tribes also shattered their totems. A simple earthen pit can be seen as a way for Sumu to give back to those who touch the corpse. After all, I have benefited from them. Looking around, looking at the plain stained with blood red by the bones, Sumu heard a sentence about the silent plain from the plot of the archaeological god's visit to the continent. In his previous life, blood and flesh are the main ingredients, with bones as the main body, laying the foundation for becoming the blood-red plain in the future. Perhaps too many dead people stirred up Sumu's emotions. At this moment, he silently swore not to be threatened for his own longevity. We must become stronger. Get stronger. Getting stronger. Sumu's movement of touching the corpse is very fast. At the beginning, there will be simple excavation and burial. 10 days later, Fire Element, 1, Fire Element, 2. Fire Element, 10, is merged into a skill. Fire Element, Medium Grade A. Fire Element, A. Can use Fire Element to strengthen oneself, Stamina plus 10, Spirit plus 10. After 500 years of cultivation, it is elevated to a top quality product. After 1000 years of cultivation, it is elevated to a top quality product, and after 300 years of cultivation, it is elevated to a divine product. After collecting 10 pieces of fire fragments and learning fire technique, he chose a simpler method. Cremation, 5,000 years in advance, appeared in the divine continent. 1 month later. On the shores of northern lakes. Sumu salvaged the last body from the lake. Obtaining gold, 8, tip. The fragments of the golden elements of the cultivation technique have been collected and can be merged. Fusion. Fusion completed, gold element, medium grade A. Can use gold element to strengthen oneself, stamina plus 10, spirit plus 10. By the lake, Sumu breathed a sigh of relief. Finally gathered the last fragment of the 5 elements technique. In his memory, during his first internal test, he did not even collect one part of the 5 elements technique. Official public beta, even with experience in beta testing, he spent 2 months collecting the first 5 elements technique after entering the game. In this way, he is also a part of the faster-paced players. Until the end of the first age, he had never heard of players who had mastered the 5 elements technique. Tip: breathing technique can be understood, including the techniques of metal, water, earth, wood, and fire. Does it automatically comprehend Huh? The system prompt appears. Su Mu was taken aback for a moment. He thought that at least 10 intermediate-level martial arts could be integrated, just like lower-level martial arts. Now there is enlightenment. He understood that this was a variant of the fusion of martial arts. Compared to fusion, only strong is not weak. Understanding. In the process of comprehension. 5 elements breathing method, intermediate A+. You can use the 5 elements to improve yourself, with a stamina of 60 and a spirit of 60. Cultivate for 500 years. Cultivate for 3,000 years to become a divine product. Tip: you can improve the quality of breathing techniques by devouring fragments of the technique. Seeing the new prompt, Su Mu felt a sense of joy in his heart. He doesn't have much else, but there are many fragments of his martial arts. Without hesitation, I immediately devoured all my inferior fragments, the 5 elements fragments, and let the 5 elements breathing method devour them all. Force, 2.16. Strong body, 1.6. Whooshing, 9.101. Tuxing, 3.26. The 5 elements breathing method, medium grade A+, has been upgraded to the 5 elements breathing method, medium grade S+, 5 elements breathing method, intermediate S+. Control the elements of the 5 elements, strengthen oneself, stamina plus 70, spirit plus 70. After 500 years of cultivation, it is elevated to a top grade. After 2,000 years of cultivation, it is elevated to a top grade. After 4,000 years of cultivation, it is elevated to a divine quality. The 5 elements breathing technique instantly integrates into Su Mu's body. His strength skyrocketed in an instant. The 5 elements in the air, in his eyes, were like his own little brother. You can freely instruct. Glancing at the time on the forum, Su Mu decided to return to the water curtain cave to continue his cultivation. After practicing for 4,000 years, the 5 elements breathing technique has been elevated to a divine level. In Shenlin continent, are you still walking horizontally? He has never heard of anyone who starts with S+ quality techniques like him. At present, the solid foundation of Su Mu can be said to be the only one in the mainland. Taking a long sigh of relief, Su Mu looked at his new panel free recommendation tickets. I hope good friends can vote. If nothing unexpected happens, the daily update time is 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. I promise, if this book were in a eunuch, I would be 10 centimeters shorter. End of this chapter. Chapter 6006. Fire Tribe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6006. Fire Tribe. Su Mu. Level 1, Lock, Stamina. 110, Spirit. 106, Talent. Immortality. Practice. 5 elements breathing technique, intermediate S+, identity. Civilization Ambassador. The 5 elements technique adds 10 points of stamina and 10 points of spirit to each. Accompanied by being comprehended by the breathing method, all were added to the 5 elements breathing method. Breaking through 110 points in physique and 106 points in spirit, Su Mu feels more at ease about his own safety. The threat from players can basically be ignored. After all, in his past life, the first era ended and his dual attributes only managed to break through 100 points. It's time to go back. Having reviewed all the gains from this trip, Su Mu is ready to depart. It took a week to arrive. It only took 2 days to go back. Regarding his identity as a messenger of civilization, Su Mu did not study it thoroughly. He was wondering if he had dug pits and buried them for the people of the two major tribes, thus earning the title of Civilization Messenger. When Su Mu returned to the water curtain cave, he found that the bodies of the boys and girls had become stronger again. The boy is nearly 2 meters tall, and the girl is about 1.8 meters tall. Their muscles explode. Compared to Su Mu's memories, the male and female figures of the Green Snake tribe are more majestic. This made Su Mu momentarily lose consciousness. Is there such a big change in a month? Why is it that I still look 1.8 meters tall and well proportioned in my past life, and relatively thin compared to boys and girls? His return did not disturb the two of them. Because boys and girls, searching for the true meaning of life the next day. Su Mu showed a side in front of the stone house. In the following days, Su Mu meditated and practiced in the water curtain cave. The daily food is delivered by the girl. Sir, the food has been placed at the door for you. Let's put it there. Sir, he went out hunting today and caught a fresh wild boar. Well, it's done well. Sir, I may not be able to deliver your meal tomorrow. Let him deliver it to you, right? Okay. The more he practiced, Su Mu felt even more infatuated with the 5 elements breathing technique. Every day, he can perceive the differences in the 5 elements breathing method. Spring has passed and autumn has arrived. On the shore of the lake, 2 new life forms have emerged. They are children of boys and girls. Also in this year, the long-used flint was accidentally lost by Su Mu. In order to save trouble, Su Mu split his 5 elements cultivation method and passed on the fire-breathing method to the boys and girls. Also on this day, the plot appears in the game forum. In the year 00065 of the Shenlin calendar, the embryonic form of the fire tribe emerged. When Su Mu saw this news, he was taken aback. I didn't expect the fire tribe to appear so quickly. And his strength has not improved much. After that day, Su Mu set aside 5 hours of his daily time to explore the surrounding tribes and see if there were any fire tribes born. Year after year. 5 years have passed. In the year 00070 of the Shenlin calendar, a boy and a girl approached Su Mu and asked if he could pass on the fire-breathing technique that Su Mu had passed on to them to the 2 young children. Su Mu did not object, and when he passed it on to them, he held the attitude of giving it to them. Anyway, I've been cooking for myself for 10 years now. On the shore, Su Mu felt the water element in the lake. After 1 hour, take a light breath. Shake off the water droplets around your body and head east to the water curtain cave to explore the birth of a tribe called Fire. Su Mu's figure flashed away in a flash. The boy and girl walked out of the stone house. Behind them are the children of the 2. The 2 of them led their children to a stone house that Su Mu thought was a backup storage room. Push open the door and walk in. At the entrance, a flame flickered slightly. Behind the flames, there is a stone statue carved 2 meters high. Looking through the dim light of the flames, the stone statue bears a 9-part resemblance to Su Mu. After 4 people enter. Holding a half-meter-long fish that had just been caught, skillfully smashing it to death and sprinkling fresh blood in front of the flames. Holding the fish in his hand, the boy murmured, "Totem Lord, protect the 2 little ones to cultivate smoothly." After speaking, the girl picked up the fish and meat. "Lord Totem bless us, and I will bear in mind your will to be your most devout believer for generations to come." After speaking, the 2 young children, led by their parents, devoutly began to make wishes. The fire-breathing method was also passed down to the 2 young boys by the boy. At this moment, the 2 little boys who were praying had a flash of inspiration in their minds. "Dad, Mom, I want to give myself a name. Dad, Mom, I also want to give myself a name." The boy and girl were taken aback. Names are such a distant thing from them. Now the 2 little ones are going to name themselves. Is that okay? They are indecisive and dare not agree randomly. At this moment, the boy's head twitched. Running out of the stone house, jumping into the lake, it took 10 minutes to catch a half-meter-long fish again. Skillfully bloodletting, then holding the fish in hand, gazing at Su Mu's stone statue, recounting the problems they encountered. In the dark, the voices of the two followed the stone statue, crossed the space, and reached Su Mu's ears. "Sir, could you name me?" Intermittent sounds appeared in Su Mu's ears out of thin air, causing his figure, who was running rapidly, to pause. The cultivation time of the 5 elements breathing method is 0.1 day. This makes Su Mu dumbfounded, and is there such a good thing? Can you ask a question about how to reduce cultivation time? Speaking of which, isn't this familiar? Voiced the 2 little guys who made him a meal for 10 years. Finally enlightened, are you going to name yourself? After a brief thought, Su Mu tentatively responded. Sure, should I help you with it? On the shore, there is a stone statue house. Su Mu's voice sounded out of thin air. Can 4 people exchanged a glance. They are a bit uncertain, is this possible or not? At this moment, their son's eyes lit up and he excitedly said. Dad, Mom, is it because we didn't create a tribe that Totem Lord didn't let us name? If Dad and Mom create a tribe, can we name it, huh? The boy and girl's eyes lit up, the little one's analysis made sense. Then, the boy quickly ran out of the stone house 5 minutes later. Bringing the big fish back, the familiar process begins. Totem Lord, we would like to create a tribe for you, so that more people can receive your protection and your voice can be heard in wider forests and rivers. Su Mu's footsteps, who was heading north, paused again. The cultivation time of the 5 elements breathing method is 0.1 day. Lord. Tribe. In the forest. The sound still came intermittently. Su Mu pondered for a moment, wondering if a new tribe had emerged in the forest. Can't it be the fire tribe? Is it because those 4 people are joining a new tribe in the forest? He thought for a moment and realized that there was really a possibility. For the 4 of them, naming is only possible when they join a tribe. When combined, it is likely that a new tribe has emerged in the forest, and the 4 of them choose to join. Su Mu sighed. Unfortunately, I won't have a cook to cook for myself in the future. For safety reasons, he decided to ask one more question. Is the tribe you joined the fire tribe? End of this chapter. Chapter 7007. Okay. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7007. Okay. In the stone house. Su Mu's voice rang out, tribe, fire. The 4 of them were instantly excited. This is when the Totem Lord agreed to their request. And named the tribe. Dad, Mom, did Lord Totem say our tribe is called the Fire Tribe? Fire. Fire breathing technique. I'm too stupid. The Totem Lord had already given our tribe a good name. In the year 00070 of the Shenlin calendar, the Fire Tribe was born. In the same year, the future leader, Rong, and the priest, Shi, embarked on the path of cultivation. In the forum, this message appeared and disappeared in the blink of an eye. When it reappears, this becomes unknown. Only one sentence remained. In the year 00070 of the Shenlin calendar, the Fire Tribe was born. And Su Mu's panel identity information has also changed at this time. It has become the leader of civilization. At the same time, discussions about the game storyline appeared for the first time in official forums. What kind of garbage game official is this? I waited for an hour before telling me about the birth of the Fire Tribe of the First Age. It will take a monkey year and a horse month until the beta test. Hi. I'm really impressed. I squatted for an hour, except for a few lines related to the plot, the rest were all messy branching storylines. A green snake tribe that has existed for more than a decade can have 3 water lines, and what's even more despicable is that the green snake tribe can survive and have 1 water line. This game planner is so skilled, it's a pity not to write a novel. Forget it, buddy. It took an hour for the storyline to appear. According to the game, only 70 years have passed. If we want to wait for 10,000 years, how many days will it take? Brother upstairs, if you don't wait, can you transfer your beta code to me? If it weren't for the holographic and unique story promoted for this game, I really wouldn't love to watch it. I've slipped away, let's go eat first. It will take at least 10.5 days to work so hard. The player's comments in the game forum are unknown to Sumu. Because his game forum does not have an interactive section. Not to mention checking discussions with other players. At this moment, he also has no time to check the forum. He followed the forest 500 miles east and indeed encountered a small tribe. It seems that there are only a few dozen or so people. However, this tribe is currently facing a life and death crisis. Dozens of mammoths surrounded the tribe, and a dozen or so large birds were hovering in the air. Among the tribes below, there are 6 men and women, forming a circle. They hold huge bone sticks, bared their teeth, and threaten the group of animals. There are also 7 young tribe cubs who are protected by them in the middle. Although they are young, there is no fear in their eyes. They held a smaller bone stick and, in coordination with adults, threatened the animals surrounding them by showing their teeth. Among these little brats, there is a pitch-black egg. Upon closer inspection of the totem of the tribe, it is this pitch-black egg roar. Mammoths let out angry roars, their sturdy and powerful limbs restlessly trampling on the ground. Flying birds in the air, revealing their sharp teeth covered in thorns. The hovering height is getting lower and lower, and I can't help but launch an attack. Sumu hid in the shadow, silently watching everything. The law of the jungle. One reason after another appears to convince oneself not to take action just when his eyes looked at those children roar. Mammoth restlessness, birds diving down from the sky. The people in the tribe raised their bone sticks, without fear or trembling, but instead looked fiercely at the fierce beasts rushing towards them just at this moment. Who? A scorching breath is coming. The people in the roasted tribe cannot open their eyes. When they open their eyes apart from the piles of black ash on the ground, where else are there the figures of mammoths and birds? The totem lord is missing. In the forest. Sumu's figure ran rapidly. Strangely, a black egg followed closely behind him. Black egg jumped a few meters high, just enough to keep up with Sumu's pace. What are you doing with me? If something goes wrong, there will always be demons. This abnormal black egg, in Sumu's view, is the source of trouble. He even suspected that the tribe was attacked by fierce beasts just now. Was it because of this black egg? After some thought, Sumu decided to drive away black egg. Looking back, with a wave of his fist, the scorching fire fist smashed towards the black egg. Bang! Black egg is wrapped in Sumu's fire fist in one breath. Sumu discovered black egg seems even more excited in the water curtain cave. Sumu was gnawing on a piece of roasted animal meat, curious as to why the 4 of them did not enter the new tribe as he had guessed. However, he didn't think much and instead looked helplessly at the black egg beside him. The 5 elements technique has been used repeatedly, but it has no other effect except to make black egg more excited. Punching and kicking seemed to have no effect on this black egg. And so, he was taken on by the black egg, but it's not without benefits. He found himself practicing by black egg's side, and 1 day of cultivation could withstand 2 days. The premise is to use one's own 5 elements technique to massage black egg with the company of black egg. Sumu focused more on cultivation. Since the fire tribe had already appeared, he had never found it and instinctively thought that the fire tribe was located in the northern region of the southern region. So the number of times he goes out to explore is decreasing. Moreover, this time provoke a black egg. Who knows what to provoke next time? Everything around the water curtain cave is normal except for occasional attacks from fierce beasts. With fierce beasts attacking and 4 members of the fire tribe present, there is no need for Sumu to take action. And the number of times girls come to deliver food is also decreasing. Every time she came, the girl would stare at Black Egg for a long time, until Sumu finished her meal, and then she would pack her food and leave. In Sumu's ear, there were occasional questioning words. Intermittent Sumu couldn't understand, so he replied every time, okay, okay, okay. In his mind, including Black Eggs, there are a total of 5.5 people. What other big deal can there be? Little did they know the boy and his son merged and fought fiercely around the forest. The reputation of the Fire Tribe has already spread a bit. By the way, they also subdued a small tribe of more than 10 people under the name of the Fire Tribe. 2 years later, Rome's strength completely surpassed his father and became the new leader of the Fire Tribe. In the witness of 2 conquered tribes, he held a succession ceremony. He once asked the Totem Lord if he could succeed as the leader of the Fire Tribe. Sumu, who was practicing, agreed very happily for the sake of a cultivation time of 0.1 day, whether he heard it clearly or not. Okay, okay, okay. In the game forum, the plot is updated. In the year 00072 of the Shenlin calendar, he merged into the leader of the Fire Tribe and embarked on the journey of the Fire Tribe's hegemony. After appearing, it disappears instantly. It turned into a sentence. In the year 00072 of the Shenlin calendar, the Fire Tribe embarked on a journey of hegemony. End of this chapter. Chapter 8008. Ugly Totem. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8008. Ugly Totem. Under the witness of both tribes, he inherited the position of leader. After slaughtering a few wild beasts to celebrate, Rome, a family of 4, returned to the tribal totem land. At night, still as before, with a live fish and a family of 4, they arrived at the stone house with a statue of Sumu. Push open the door. A faint flame was burning. After the flames, there is a stone statue of Sumu, which has undergone some changes compared to before. He has an irregular stone egg at his feet this time. Rome personally killed the big fish. She replaced her mother and recited the sacrificial words passed down by the Fire Tribe for 2 years. It's just 2 years. The boy and girl had aged faces, and a sense of twilight emanated from them. According to the average age of the first age, boys and girls should be in their prime now. I won't be as lifeless as I am now, not even wanting to roll my eyelids. The reason behind this is that in the past 2 years, the wars of the Fire Tribe have caused different injuries to the boys and girls, accelerating their aging. Totem Lord. She followed the sacrificial words given to him by the girl and spoke devoutly and softly. The blood of the big fish in Rong's hand dripped and fell onto the flames. Make the flames even more vigorous. Sumu, who was practicing in the water curtain cave, heard intermittent prayers in his ears. The cultivation time of the 5 elements breathing method is 0.1 day. For the sake of reducing 1 day of the 5 elements breathing method, Sumu didn't even lift his eyelids and quickly responded with a sentence. Okay, okay. The black egg at its feet twisted its body when it heard Sumu's words. It seems that it is sleeping, and the sound of talking to Sumu makes him feel unhappy. Lazy dog. With a light scolding, Sumu continued to comprehend the 5 elements breathing technique. The more he practiced the 5 elements breathing technique, the more Sumu felt the profoundness of this breathing technique. He is like an addicted addict, wishing to spend 24 hours a day practicing the 5 elements breathing technique. In his state of obsession, the theoretical progress of the 5 elements breathing technique has improved rapidly. Every day is a new beginning for Sumu. It's winter again. Sumu stood on the side of the waterfall, with the black egg beside him. In the cold winter, although it won't make the waterfall freeze, the piercing chill is overwhelming. Water breathing method. Sumu murmured to himself, feeling the water elements in the winter river. His body exuded a peaceful and tranquil aura of water elements. Consolidate into a miniature water figure by his side. The black egg at his feet rolled comfortably and then lay on Sumu's feet. The water element on Sumu's body also washes away the body of the black egg. Make the black egg it's even darker. By the shore of the lake. The boy and girl who needed mutual support to stand still silently watched the magical changes in Sumu's body. Totem Lord, there hasn't been any change in these years. Ahem, Totem Lord is different from us. I seem to feel the call of the Totem Lord. Cough. Summon. As the words fell, the boy and girl exchanged a glance. Their eyes were calm, and they both knew that it was a precursor to death. However, even if it's a threat of death. For them, it seems like a common occurrence, and it's not even as important as starting a fire and grilling meat. After realizing the water element for 2 hours, Sumu's figure disappeared in a flash. He went to the north side of the water curtain cave, but the fire tribe did not show up for a long time, which made him uneasy. After Sumu leaves, the boy and girl helped each other to the wooden house where Sumu's stone statue was placed. The two of them sat in front of the stone statue, as if time was gradually regressing. The girl seemed to have seen the heroic figure of being trapped under her arm by a wanderer, and the Totem Lord saving her. The boy also had a smile on his face, as if he had seen the scene where the Totem Lord saved him. The flames are getting weaker and weaker, shining on the smiling faces of the two. A faint snoring sounded. They sat side by side, falling into a deep sleep. On the north side, Sumu and Black Egg ran for about 10 hours. Finally met a tribe. Based on Sumu's current foot strength, in 10 hours, it can reach at least a few hundred miles. This tribal totem looks like a tree. The totem is stationed in the center of the tribe, about 100 meters high. At the entrance of the tribe, there were constant roars. This tree tribe is being attacked by others. The attacking side, dressed in animal skins, with their upper bodies exposed and a unified totem pattern on their backs in irregular circle. Sumu looked at the totems on those people and the black eggs at their feet. The more you look, the more you feel like it. I couldn't help but ask, is this your brother's tribe? The totem is as ugly as you bang. Black Egg suddenly collided with Sumu's calf, and Sumu had already anticipated Black Egg's movements and activated the golden breathing technique in advance. The impact of the Black Egg made a sound of gold and iron clashing. Black Eggs never give up until they make a profit. Start charging in place, ready to continue colliding with Sumu's calves, a set of the 5 elements. Sumu didn't even look at Black Egg, so he extended 4 fingers and placed them in front of Black Egg. Black Egg, who was accumulating energy, stopped digging the pit as if pondering the trade-offs. After a moment, Black Egg chose to surrender. It was attached to Sumu's feet again, indicating that Sumu would once again win this battle. At the entrance of the tribe, there is constant fighting. Occasionally, people have their heads chopped off or their limbs smashed. The injured tribal warriors gritted their teeth and did not roar loudly, venting their pain after being injured. On the contrary, his eyes were red and he looked at the other person even more fiercely. In the rear, Sumu looked for a while and then he knew the result. Tree tribe, it's not guaranteed today. Attack one side and master the 5 elements. To be precise, there are 4 people who master the fire elements. On the other hand, in the tree tribe, only 1 person has mastered the wooden path. The defeat of the tree tribe is only a matter of time. Sumu has always been around and has not chosen to take action. It's not that he's indifferent, but it follows the laws of the forest. More importantly, Sumu is afraid of trouble. He is afraid that the saved tribe will stick to him after he takes action. The sudden emergence of a tribe, this dangerous and uncertain factor, is very frightening to think of, so standing idly by is the best choice for tribal conflicts. Puzzy. The only warrior in the tree tribe who controls the wooden line was beheaded by the enemy. Level 10. He died in front of Sumu like this. Unlike the trip to Silent Plains, this time I witnessed a level 10 tribe member being killed with my own eyes. Kill. Revenge the Sanji warrior. The death of the first expert did not have the belief to eliminate the tribe. Instead, it made them even more vicious. This is the tribe people. The struggle between the two sides, Sumu saw it clearly while watching, sneaking into their combat style. Kill. Show them the prestige of our fire tribe. End of this chapter. Chapter 9009. Ma Lai Lai Lai. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9009. Ma Lai Lai Lai. Sumu suddenly stood up. If you heard me right. Just now, he heard Fire Tribe from the mouth of a warrior on the attacking side. Take the filter of the Fire Tribe from your past life and go see the attacking team again. They have a more ferocious intent than the Tree Tribe. Sumu never expected that the Fire Tribe he had been longing for would suddenly appear before his eyes. The image is not much different from the image of the Fire Tribe in his heart. Undoubtedly, it is the future hegemonic tribe that has been engaged in such burning, killing, and looting since its inception. I let out a deep sigh in my heart. Knowing that the attacking party was from the Fire Tribe, Sumu prepared to return to the Water Curtain Cave. This kind of future hegemonic tribe, if you can avoid provoking them, then don't provoke them. Black Egg, let's go. Sumu greeted him, and the next second he was stunned. Where's the Black Egg? Didn't you still hear just now? He looked deep into the forest, and vaguely, he could still see a black ball bouncing around in the midst of the forest. Special code, running so fast. With a deep curse, Sumu's figure turned into a sharp arrow and disappeared into place. In the past, there was a conflict between two tribes, and he was very interested in touching corpses after the conflict. While running, I secretly felt regretful in my heart. If it weren't for the Fire Tribe, you could have obtained some martial arts fragments yourself. 5 minutes later. Sumu's figure caught up with Black Egg. After cursing at him, Sumu didn't look back and left Black Egg behind. In the Water Curtain Cave. Black Egg returned half an hour late from Sumu. When he returned, Sumu had already roasted the beast meat and was eating it with a delicious taste. The fragrance permeated the dark cave. Black Egg shook his body slightly and walked over to the barbecue without hesitation. Its body shook, and a piece of grilled meat seemed to have changed texture, turning grayish-white. What exactly are you? At this time, Sumu would be amazed by the origin of Black Egg. Ma Lai Lai Lai, not round at all. His gaming experience tells him that he has never seen this thing before. Unfortunately, although Black Egg can understand Sumu's words, he still cannot speak. This made Chief Su breathe a sigh of relief. I can't speak well. Being able to speak makes it less easy to deceive. The flames of barbecue shone on Sumu's face. He is thinking, should he move? It has been confirmed that the Fire Tribe did indeed appear in his area. Think for a moment. Sumu has decided to explore the south and find new suitable places to live. The time is set for after the girl disappears in the Sumu stone statue house. Upon returning, Rongha Shi stood at the door, silently watching his parents snuggling together and making faint snores. Mother and father, how long before they return to the side of the Totem Lord? Rongnian is only 9 years old, but his body has grown to about 2.5 meters and his muscles are exploding all over. From a distance, it looks like a walking beast. Rong tried hard to suppress his voice and asked his sister beside him, "Hi." The light in Shi's eyes flashed, with a hint of sadness, and he slowly spoke, 5 sunsets. Perhaps the sound of Rongha Shi was too loud, startling both the boy and the girl. The two slowly opened their eyes and saw the children at the door, their faces showing a long-lost smile. Rongha Shi quickly stepped forward and helped his parents up. Patting Rong's shoulder, the boy's face showed appreciation and he spoke up. "Has the Tree Tribe been subdued?" Rong nodded and replied softly, I have one. Okay. Report to Lord Totem. Upon hearing his father's words, Rong skillfully killed the big fish he had brought with him. Fish blood drips down. The buzzing and praying sound of fusion rang out. Totem Lord, with your blessing, our fire tribe has successfully conquered the tree tribe. So far, the fire tribe has conquered a total of 3 tribes. Lord Totem, rest assured that I will scatter your brilliance on every grain of soil in this land. In the water curtain cave. Su Mu, who was practicing, opened his eyes. Intermittent sounds came from the ear. Listen to the sound, it should be the girl's son. Totem. Fire. Conquer. Tribe. Radiant sprinkles on. Land. Su Mu nodded silently. He really likes the girl's son. In the forest, whenever something big happens, he always tells himself the first time. Just like now, through intermittent sounds, Su Mu guessed that he was telling himself that a tribe called Fire had appeared in the forest. The Fire tribe has conquered other tribes, and the following sentences are just some modifiers, so there is no need to delve too deeply. Nodding in satisfaction, Su Mu replied. Well done, continue to be vigilant. When the Fire tribe reappears, remember to let me know. In the stone statue house. Su Mu's voice rang out, continue. Fire tribe. Through multiple intermittent exchanges, Rong and his team had already learned to automatically supplement Su Mu's words. When Su Mu's response appeared, Rong only pondered for a moment before completing his brain teaser. Totem Lord, is it for us to continue developing the Fire tribe and let its glory spread on more soil? As a priest of the Fire tribe, she nodded upon hearing Rong's words. Her thoughts are similar to Rong's in the eyes of girls and boys. There is a sense of joy and recognition from Totem adults, which is the happiest thing in their lives. Hi, don't forget to bring roasted meat to Totem Lord tomorrow. The girl's instructions were well received in her heart. During this period, she has been learning her mother's barbecue technique. At present it is possible to achieve basic consistency. The second day. Rong left here early. He is preparing to continue searching for the next target to conquer with the warriors of the tribe. Realize the wish of the Totem Master as soon as possible. She finished today's barbecue under the girl's watch. Jump up and into the lake, holding the grilled meat high in your hand to prevent it from getting wet. Arriving at the waterfall, bending over and protecting the grilled meat underneath, the figure quickly rushed into the waterfall. Grasping the protruding rocks, he skillfully climbed into the water curtain cave. Inside the cave, Su Mu is still practicing. Black Egg arrived at the entrance of the water curtain early, when it saw the figure of Joy. A happy emotion emanated from it. Happy to see Black Egg, she put down the barbecue in her hand, followed the movements taught by her mother, and knelt before Black Egg. Take out the portion of grilled meat that belongs to Black Egg and place it in front of Black Egg. Taking the remaining barbecue, he came to Su Mu's side 5 meters away. At this time, Su Mu was still practicing. The mini-figures of the 5 elements alternate around him. After she put down the grilled meat, he silently practiced the fire practice technique in his heart. In 10 minutes. Take a breath of joy. Practicing the fire practice technique by Su Mu's side, surpassing her usual 10 times at a time. Opening his eyes, Su Mu was still practicing. She calculated the time, and when it came to her mother telling her, she could stay in the water curtain cave for the longest time. She is preparing to quietly exit here as usual. When she walked to the entrance of the water curtain cave, the voice of Su Mu behind suddenly rang out, "Tell your parents, I want to give them a name. Can you ask them if they are willing?" End of this chapter. Chapter 10:010. Totem Naming. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10:010. Totem Naming. Shizheng was about to jump into the lake from the entrance of the water curtain when he heard Su Mu's words and his figure suddenly stopped. Duh. Your Excellency. Are you serious? She cautiously asked Sumu, fearing that his tone would be too strong, causing Sumu to retract that sentence. It's true, if I agree, I will come to see you tonight at sunset. After speaking, Sumu closed his eyes and continued to indulge in the study of the 5 elements breathing method. Puptong happy to jump into the lake under the waterfall. The figure swam rapidly in the lake, swimming towards the boys and girls. At this moment, her sturdy figure of 1.8 meters is like an agile swimming fish, just a few breaths in the lake before landing. Dad, Mom. As soon as she landed, she couldn't wait to greet her parents. The boy and girl, hearing their daughter's shout, suddenly burst out of the house with unknown strength. Seeing the joy rushing towards them, my expression was flustered and my lips trembled. The girl is worried. Did she like to do something that made the totem master angry? The boy held her hand and exerted a little strength, pretending to be calm. It's okay, isn't she the kind of reckless child? She was getting closer and closer to them, and the two of them also saw the expression on she's face clearly. It's a happy expression. Dad, Mom, what a great thing. After hearing that she personally announced it was a good thing, the two finally breathed a sigh of relief. At this moment, endless exhaustion struck. The two felt that they had already exhausted all their strength just by standing. Upon seeing this scene, I quickly took a step forward and helped the two of them. Dad, Mom, be careful. The girl patted She's hand, showing a comforting smile, and spoke softly. What good news is there to tell us? Upon hearing the girl's inquiry, her expression of joy changed. With a hint of envy, he slowly spoke. Dad, Mom, Totem Lord wants to give you names. As soon as the words fell, the boy and girl stood up straight with ease. What? Ziwazi, don't lie to Dad. They stared fixedly at She's face. I'm afraid this is a lie used to make them happy. Seeing the look in the eyes of the second old man, he nodded and said firmly, it's true. Tears ran through the corners of the girl's eyes. The boy's lips trembled, but he couldn't say a word. Totem given name. In the tribe, it is the person who created the tribe and received recognition from the totem before being named by the totem. If there is no totem given a name, the first tribal leader and priest will have a blank name in the historical records of the tribe. On this land, it is believed that the tribe lacks recognition of totems, and such a tribe cannot go far. So naming a totem is not just about giving the founder of a tribe a name. More importantly, totems give tribes a sense of affirmation. Similar to, I have covered this place, this is my territory. However, Sumu doesn't think so. What he was thinking was that the boy and the girl cooked for him and spent their entire lives together. In Sumu's heart, he had already regarded them as friends. Now, my friend's life is coming to an end. He is afraid that his future life will be too long and he will gradually forget this initial friend. So, he had the idea of naming boys and girls. A name is like a person's business card. When you mention a name, you can think of that person and remember some of the things they have done half an hour later. Excitedly, she told Sumu that her parents were willing to let Sumu give her a name. Sumu nodded and told She that he would go find them after sunset. She quickly left the water curtain cave and, before leaving, took out a piece of roasted beast meat and handed it to Black Egg. This is just a sudden thrust, leaving the water curtain cave. In the cave, Sumu continued to study the 5 elements breathing method. The black egg around me is like a mischievous child. One on the left foot, another on the right foot. It cannot stay in the same place for 5 minutes. Sumu has long been accustomed to this. Don't worry about whether the black egg has lice on its body, or if it has ADHD. He remained indifferent. I am studying the 5 elements breathing method on my own. By the shore of the lake. I like to follow my parents' arrangements and prepare for the naming ceremony of the totem that belongs exclusively to their fire tribe. Big fish is essential. According to her mother's words, the first time a totem master exhibited a unique feature of a totem was by roasting fish with fire. So, in the fire tribe, no matter what kind of sacrifice it is, fish will always be the first choice. She brought his parents to the stone house where Su Mu's stone statue was placed. Skillfully kill 2 fish and bleed. Then she left the stone house and left the space for her parents. She stood guard in front of the stone house door, silently practicing the fire-breathing technique. Inside the stone house, it is the devout prayer of boys and girls. I don't know if it's an illusion, but I feel like my whooshing breathing method is running very smoothly today. She felt like she wouldn't be long before she could break through to the 5th level of blood transfer. Time slowly passes by. When the sun left a little afterglow, the boy and girl walked out of the stone house. The 2 of them had sparkling eyes, and at this moment, their energy and spirit reached their peak. Upon seeing it, she was overjoyed and wondered if the Totem Lord had blessed her parents, which gave her the spirit of her parents. By the shore of the lake, a group of 3 are waiting for Su Mu's arrival. Unfortunately, Rome did not come back today. In the water curtain cave, Su Mu let out a breath. Stand up. The figure flickered and arrived at the entrance of the cave. Compared to the previous popular breathing method, the effect has been improved by about 1,000th. After a brief realization, Su Mu's figure plunged like a sharp arrow into the lake below the waterfall. Water curtain hole, at the entrance. Black Egg's figure only flickered slightly, and then returning to the cave, it arrived at the place where Su Mu had just comprehended the 5 elements breathing technique. Lie down horizontally without moving. It's like falling asleep. On the shore, the figure of Su Mu appeared. The 3 of them lowered their heads and respectfully saluted Su Mu. Sigh. I am not sure about the physical condition of the boys and girls, but Su Mu is aware of it. Just standing by their side, a strong twilight aura rushed towards them. In sharp contrast to the constantly surging vitality emanating from him. Shining back. After a few glances, Su Mu understood the physical condition of the boy and girl. Through induction. Inside their bodies, it was as if the skeletons had been hollowed out, leaving only a spark of spiritual energy to maintain their bodies from collapsing. Sensing this scene, Su Mu pointed it out. 2 fire spiritual energies with his own breath were infused into the bodies of the boy and girl by him. With his spiritual blessing, the 2 of them will live 1 more day after finishing all of this. Su Mu walked towards the group of stone houses on the shore. A group of 3 followed Su Mu without speaking. The joy of bowing one's head and feeling shocked in one's heart. She found out. Just standing by the side of the Totem Lord, my cultivation began to soar rapidly. Has the Totem Lord become stronger again? End of this chapter.